Good afternoon. Here is the midday news on OGBC. I am Emmanuel Adebanjo. First, the major items. President Tinubu promises to end gender-based violence. Federal government is restructuring the NYC scheme. South Africa's president to sign a contentious national health bill into law. President Bola Tinubu has promised to continue working towards ending gender-based violence and increase learning opportunities for girls in safe and favorable environments. President Tinubu made the promise on Monday in Abuja at the launch of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development, OFLAD, hashtag We Are Equal campaign in Nigeria. He stressed the importance of education in empowering girls and promoting gender equality. The president, who lauded the initiative of the OFLAG for the campaign launch, noted that it had been successfully launched in 15 other African countries. He emphasized that governments must continue to create opportunities for all children to have access to quality education without leaving anyone behind, particularly the girl child. The federal government has affirmed that there is no going back on the energy reforms initiative by the current administration. President Bola today. The president also directed that all future vehicles, generators, or tricycles acquired by the government and its agencies must use compressed natural gas, CNG, solar power, or electric energy sources. He said this was important in ensuring the effort to transition to cleaner, thereby presenting a more affordable alternative for Nigerian energy consumers. National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) to make it a revenue-generating agency and meet future demands. The Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, gave the hint in Abuja on Monday. At the house, Dr. Bio Ibrahim also informed that the reforms of the scheme will be inaugurated soon, adding that the first of these reforms will be centered on reviewing participants with an entrepreneurship mindset development, a core program. She also announced that over 5,000 core members would have their entrepreneurial ventures funded with close to 10 million naira. The political parties who let this out on Monday in Abuja during the political parties monitoring election. It stated that the continuous voter registration CVR will resume in Edo and Ondo states ahead of the off-cycle elections. The INEC boss told party leaders that the CVR will run from May 27 through June 5. Edo State governorship election will hold on September 21. They will keep the interest rates high until inflation subsides. The CBN stressed that the Monetary Policy Committee (MPC), which it chairs, will do whatever is necessary to keep the soaring inflation in check. Speaking on the fluctuating value of the naira against the US dollar, Mr. Cardozo said the situation has now stabilized. You are listening to the midday news on OGBC 90.5 FM. South Africa's president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, is due to sign intolerance bill 6 to give Africans of all races, rich or poor, and legal long-term residents access to quality health care. It was passed by lawmakers last year and is set to be implemented in stages at a cost of billions of dollars. The presidency stated that the bill will be signed into law on Wednesday at the Union Building, the presidential office in the capital, Pretoria. It comes just days before the 29 May national election that will test the ruling African National Congress 30 years rule. Georgia's parliament is expected to give final approval to the controversial foreign law that has sparked weeks of mass street protests. Critics of the governing Georgian Dream Party said the bill, which they call the Russian law, could be used to crush dissent. They demand that the government scrap the plan and a sit-in is expected to resume shortly outside parliament. The country's prime minister, Mr. Erkil Kobachidze, has promised that the bill would pass. Mr. Kobachidze also warned that if authorities backed down at the bill's third reading, Georgia would lose its sovereignty and easily share the fate of Ukraine without deterring Jabalia refugee camp and surrounding areas. Israeli tanks, bulldozers, and armored vehicles are all surrounding evacuation zones and evacuation centers, which are rural schools that have been turned into shelters for hundreds of displaced families from northern Gaza who are fleeing the horrors of the attack. There are at least three evacuation centers surrounded by military vehicles and tanks. People inside this displacement have started to feed into what people think of more of permanent displacements, bringing back memories of the Neliba in 1948 when their grandfathers and fathers were forced out of homes. At least 14 people have been killed and dozens of others injured after a heat fell on them during a thunderstorm in India's financial capital, Mumbai. According to local authorities, the billboard collapsed on some station next to a busy road in the eastern suburb of Raktopa following gusty winds and rain late on Monday. Many others were trapped in the incident, with rescue operations continuing until early this Tuesday. Mumbai's municipal corporation said 74 people were taken to hospital with injuries following the accident, of which 31 were discharged. The rains, accompanied by strong winds, caused a 30-meter tall billboard located next to a busy road in the Chida Nagar area of Gatwa to fall over a petrol station and some houses on Monday evening. On sport, clash on shadowed like Media Day. Footage showed John Fury lashing out with his head towards a man wearing Irski's team tracksuit as righteous teams clashed before Saturday Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Saturday. John Fury, Saudi Arabian authorities said no charges have been pressed and no further action will be taken at this stage. The development of the country requires concerted effort. Play your own part to end the midday meals. Another look at the major items. President Bola Tinubu on Monday at the launch of the organization African First Ladies for Development (OFLAD) hashtag We Are Equal campaign in Nigeria promised to continue working towards ending gender-based violence and increase learning opportunity for girls. The Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila, Youth Service Corps to make it a revenue-generating agency. He also told you that South Africa's President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, is due to sign into law a contentious national health bill that will provide universal coverage for millions of poor citizens. The midday news was edited by Tony Oyelumade and broadcast from OGBC at Belkuta.